Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. So nice to have you with us for this Wednesday, the 31st day of March, the final day of March, the year 2021. And of course, this is yours truly, Angela Perry. Oh, thank you very much. As always, coming alive and at you from the busy streets of New York City. And now in New York, it is raining right now. And I'm talking to you in my car as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. We have a lot. As far as the NCAA tournament is concerned, the Final Four is set. So let's get right to it, shall we? And that is going to be the main topic today is, of course, the NCAA tournament. And let's start off with the first Elite Eight. So the Final Four is all set. Let's start off with the crazy game. Let's start off with the Michigan or UCLA game. Turned out to be a dandy. As we come into this game on the weekend for the Sweet 16, I said that Michigan was going to be a hand. Everybody said from Kenny Smith to Charles Barkley said UCLA was going to be a problem for Michigan. UCLA was going to be a problem for Michigan because Michigan has size. They have size. They have length, and they have shot blockers. They have guys that can shoot for perimeter. They can shoot for the perimeter. They can shoot for threes, and all these things. But UCLA got hot at the right time. Because remember, UCLA was going into the tournament with 4 straight losses and did not win the Pac-12 tournament championship. So now they have to play the first 4 to beat Michigan State, and now they're playing in the Final Four. The first time that happened since VCU 10 years ago. VCU played in the first 4, and now they played in the Final Four. They lost in the Final Four. They lost in the semifinals game. That's the national semifinals, and now UCLA is gonna play Gonzaga. Now back to the Michigan and UCLA. UCLA, I tell you, they play. It all comes down, for me. To me, when it comes down to, they outshot Michigan. Michigan couldn't make a shot. They didn't play efficient basketball. And I thought, honestly, and I'm gonna tell you, let me say this. Let me go a little bit to Florida. Let me add a little Florida State to the mix. If Florida State did not turn the ball over the way they did and play and did not play defense the way they did throughout the season, I'm sorry, Florida State will won that game. But, however, Michigan, when it comes down to me, Michigan did not shoot the ball. Michigan do not, and when you get to the final stretch of the second half of any basketball, especially in this tournament, you gotta finish, and that's what Michigan did not do. You know, I didn't see the first half, but I got a glimpse of the second. I caught a glimpse of the second half, and I thought Michigan had a chance. Michigan had chances to come back, but again, they did not make shots and did not rebound. And when you don't, and Charles Barkley is 100% correct. When you don't rebound, you're not going to win games. Nobody tells you. You know. So Michigan is out because they got cold. And give UCLA credit because everybody thought UCLA was done at one point. UCLA was done. To beat Now you play the best team in college, the best team all year in college basketball with Gonzaga, and they have a chance to make it up. They have a chance to make an upset. Honestly, probably a bigger upset than well, I want to say bigger upset than Kentucky. Kentucky was the bigger upset. You know, just thinking about it. But I said UCLA is going to have their hands full against Michigan, but boy, I was wrong. And I picked UCLA to lose in the second round. I didn't pick Michigan to go to the Elite Eight because I knew they was going to lose, and I expect them to get to the Final Four anyway. I expect to get Final Four anyway because Michigan did not. I did not like how they finished the season. I do not like the fact they lost to Michigan State, even though it's a rival. But you know, give Juwan Howard credit. Juwan Howard have these kids playing so well, playing their butts off. But when it all boils down to, is Michigan did not make shots. Michigan did not finish. Because Michigan was leading, and Michigan was leading. And I don't know if they lead the rest of the game or not. But Michigan had a chance. But Michigan has so many opportunities to the end of the game, and you gotta make your free throws. That's what it comes down to, honestly. And UCLA just rebound and made shots. You know, that Alabama game against UCLA was not the best game. It was the best game of the whole tournament. Because let's be honest, folks. This whole NCAA tournament has been dry. I'm sorry. The UCLA Alabama game was the best game of that whole tournament. That's it. Let's see what happens in the Final Four and the national championship game. But right now, if I have to pick what's the best game, if you put a gun in my hand and say what was the best game of the whole tournament, it's Alabama UCLA. No question about it. The best game. It had everything. And when that shot went in against Alabama, when Alabama made that shot in the final seconds in the Sweet 16, I said to myself, "Oh, the momentum has shifted. Alabama hit the buzzer beater. The momentum has shifted. Nope. UCLA just blitzed, just took a shot and took the lead and never looked back." And last night's game was down to the wire. It was tooth and nail to the end. And that's what a championship, that's what a regional final, that's what a championship match is all about, folks. That's what it's supposed to be. And give UCLA all the credit in the world. As for USC, listen, you have nothing to shit. As far as USC goes, USC to me have nothing to be ashamed about. USC, the fact you got to the Elite Eight, that's a successful season. Honestly, that's a successful season. And listen, Gonzaga's a better team. The team is undefeated. They chasing history, but even then, you got USC. You got to take care of the football. You got to take care of the rock. Because that's one of the main contributors of why they lost the game. They turned the ball over. They were sloppy. USC was sloppy. And that's why they lost. And that's why they lost the game, honestly. And the fact that Gonzaga they were shooting bullets. It's like they were shooting MAC-10s. Excuse my language. Excuse me for using the gun reference, but they were shooting MAC-10s. They really were. They were shooting bullets. And it wasn't going to stop. And for that, Gonzaga scares me a lot. And I can see Gonzaga win the national championship. I can see UCLA winning it. And it's look at this. Look at this for a second. We have Texas and California. We have two Texas teams going to the Final Four. Baylor is going to be a Texas affair between Baylor and Houston. Houston made the Final Four for the first time since 1984, and Baylor made their first Final Four since 1950. Something got to give, okay? Now Baylor, you know, they didn't really have much of a challenge. I out of all the number one seeds, I thought Baylor was be the first one out, to be honest with you. And Houston just plays solid basketball. They play they play the best basketball out of the whole tournament, honestly. But what it comes down, but for me, what it really comes down to is Mark Few and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. They have to win this tournament. History is in front of their faces. And if they don't, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I never said this about any coaches in my life. If they don't win the national championship, Gonzaga will never win the national championship. And to me, that's where Gonzaga had to stay focused and play how they've been playing all year. Defensively against USC last night, they were superb. It was really superb. Even though USC helped them, USC was very sloppy as we alluded back, and did not play and shoot themselves in the foot. But you got to give my viewers and these kids credit. They play their butts off. And with that, and so today is opening day of the baseball season. Can you believe it? We are. How can I forget about opening day? You know, and Rangers blitz. Then I'm on. Oh, sorry. Tomorrow is opening day. I forgot to. Tomorrow is opening day. So much for me not paying attention. And yesterday was the final day of spring training. So good thing there was no games today for the Yankees and the Mets, especially for the Yankees, because if the Yankees would have played, the game would have been right out. So, boy, anybody saw the Rangers play? The Rangers just put on a clinic after Saturday. They after Saturday losing by 1 point by the Washington Capitals, and just shoot the daylights out of the Washington Capitals 5-2. 5-2. They just blitz them all over. Man, that was an automatic beatdown by the New York Rangers. And if the season ended today, the Rangers, as far as getting to the playoffs, have a lot of work to do. They really have a lot of work to do. They have a lot to cut up. They have a month to make. A lot could change in a month, you know. A lot could change in a month. And with that, that's going to do it for this edition of Drew Mania Live. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to listen to this episode again, please go to